Rebecca Taylor, this vote today, what difference will it make to e-cigarette users? How did the vote go?
The vote went really well, yes. The amendment that I had drafted with some other Liberal colleagues was adopted by Parliament, so I'm really pleased about that. And what it means is that e-cigarettes should now not be regulated as medicines, which will hopefully enable them to be more widely available as tobacco, and thus enable smokers to switch from tobacco to e-cigarettes, which is obviously a great improvement for them.
And what kind of contact have you had with constituents, and how important was that in you lobbying on this one, on arguing the case?
Well, that's exactly why I became involved in this issue in the first place, because I started to receive, probably at the beginning of the year, sort of January, February, emails from just individual constituents saying, I'm very concerned about the proposals to regulate e-cigarettes as medicines. And at that point, I didn't really even know what e-cigarettes were. So the stories were things like, I've smoked for 20 years, I've tried to give up many times, my kids hate that I smoke, and I switched to electronic cigarettes, and often they didn't even expect to stop smoking tobacco, but they did, and they're kind of like, please don't take this away from me. Yeah.
Let me ask you then about the government, because the government, in fact, the Secretary of State for Health wrote to MEPs, including yourself, and said, please support this as a medical product. You didn't do that. Why did you go against the government's advice, your own government?
It's true, because I believe that the medicines regulation of e-cigarettes would be over-regulation. There were issues that needed to be addressed, advertising being one of them, under 18 sales ban being another. But we've been able to do that in our amendment without resorting to medicines legislation. The problem with the medicines route is that it will be expensive. A lot of the companies that produce e-cigarettes are small, medium-sized companies who just won't have the resources or the expertise to put their products through the medicines route. They'd be requiring pharmaceutical-grade manufacturing facilities to bring no extra benefits. So yes, I never said e-cigarettes should not be regulated, but it was a question of how. I mean, the people who have pushed for medicines regulation, I have the same objective as they do. We just want to achieve our objective in a different way.
So just finally then, from the point of view of e-cigarette users, are you seeing this as something of a victory, really?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of users contact me, not just from the UK. Yesterday I met groups of French and Dutch e-cigarette users who gave me a petition, a huge petition actually. I had to carry it back to the Parliament. And I'm sure they will be very pleased with the result of today's vote.